Hi, this is Vince Curie. We're back with the Singer Professional 5, the 5-thread serger. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the machine up for a 5-thread safety stitch wide configuration. I made some notes here so that as I go through the book, I'm learning this. As I go through the book, I could get an idea where the things are that they're talking about. You know, like for example, on the machine you have different knobs. You got two on that side and you have two things on this side that they talk about, and they also talk about this right here. So, first I'll show you in the book. Okay. Now, just bear with me. Like I said, I made the notes. All right. This is what hopefully we'll wind up with. It's they call it a 5-color safety stitch, and the top of the stitch, you could say, just say it's a tablecloth or something. You're going to have your 5-thread safety stitch narrow, 5-thread middle cover, needle thread, it shows you here, right over edge needle, upper loop of thread, lower loop of thread, red. When I say red, I'm not talking about the thread. It just so happens that they put a red thread there, but we're talking about the marking on the machine. I'll show you. And then the chain stitch, the brown, they're talking about the brown dot, which I will show you. Okay, so now I have found some errors in the book. You got to be alert. All right. Now, normally, when I've been using this machine, I was using 3 needles. I was doing a 3-needle cover stitch, and I was doing that yesterday, just in case no one's seen that. Boy, am I making a mess here. So we got some new people looking at this. I was demonstrating the other, last night. I'm going to have to beg your pardon. This is my Janome machine that I was demonstrating last night. All right. Let me stand corrected. Here is the serger. All right. All right. That's the serger, the three thread cover, they call it, and then the opposite side of that. Here's the opposite side, what it looks like. That's the opposite side of the 3-thread top stitch. And it's actually, I'll back up. It's actually a stretch stitch. That's a stretch stitch. See my fingers? Okay, so now you got that out of the way. This calls for 2 needles, and there is 5 slots for needles on this machine. This would be the front facing the operator, and this will be away from the operator. So now we're putting a needle in the middle, which all of the fronts are called cover stitch. Cover stitch left, cover stitch middle, cover stitch right needle. So now what we're doing is we're putting a needle on the inside, which is a left over edge needle. There's not going to be nothing here. So what you see in red is going to be a needle. And what they're showing you here, this is a Allen key. The red thing is an Allen key that this tool goes into. It's a little Allen wrench, goes into there, and the configuration on this machine is set up. It tells you upper looper, lower looper. It tells you threaded, unthreaded. It gives you positions on these knobs. All right, you got a couple of knobs that they're talking about here, and I got the little cheat sheet here on the right. So they say the seam width dial, and and I marked them on my paper. So I look at the picture on my paper, the little drawing, and then I put them accordingly. Everything actually is an N. It's set to N. Okay, I'm going to show you. All right, here's another thing we got to see. Right now I have my needles out of the machine. Okay, now one needle goes in the front. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna hold my my inspector's mirror. I'll put a light so that you can see, and I'll try to zoom in as much as I could. Okay. All right. In the bottom of the photo, you're going to see, let me get something to point. Hold it. Let me see if I can point with this. All right. In the bottom, you're going to see 3 holes right here, these 3 holes. Then up above it, you're going to see actually 2 more holes back here. Okay, so I'm putting 1 needle in this hole, like on the left, and then one needle in the middle hole. Oh, sorry. In the middle hole. That's about as close as I can get without getting blurry. I think you got the idea. So looking at it, of course, looking at it this way, it looks a little different, but you're able to see the Allen keys in the front. It's about as close as I can get. And then, of course, right now I have to put a needle in this. You see the Allen keys holding up the Allen keys holding the screwdriver out right there. And then behind it and up, okay, these, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay. I'm going to move this light so you can see. Okay, all right. So this one right here, that's A, that's needle A. This one's B. And then you got C, D, and E. So this is the one right now that I'm putting the needle in. What I did was I took the front needle out in order to get the back one in. All right, let me do that now because I'm wasting video. I'll do that. Might give me a little problem. It might go right in. I'm not sure, but I'll get back to you. All right, the book told me a few things. It told me to take the knife, the upper knife. I had to loosen this screw, and I used the. They give you a nice leverage screwdriver. Loosen that so many times, and then you pull when it's unscrewed. You pull this out. See, spring loaded. See, it's hanging out now. Pull it out. All right, now it's back, and this is tight. The next thing they want you to do, they want you to install the knife cover guard, which this is an attachment they give you, and see it has a little prong here. Okay, so the one that's on here has a prong. I lift up on the prong and I just pull this out. Like this, I put it to the side and put this back. Like this, should click. Okay, that's in place. See, that's the knife cover. Now it told me to set this to they call it the set stitch finger to end. This is the finger, and you move this one way and the other. They want this on end. I got this on end, and then it told me to set this to B. It had a picture. This to N. And then on the other side, it even shows you the various pictures. Here's the stitch finger. It's showing you that right here. Okay, and the pressure foot, they want this at end, they wanted this at end. There's a little mark into the casting. That's where you line them up, and this also, they want this to end. They call this the seam width. They call this the differential feed dial, and this is the pressure foot dial to end, which I did. Okay, and I got my needles in position. So far I'm doing what the book says, you know, setting it up. All right, let me go a little further here. Okay, I'm going to adjust this now so that the upper loop is engaged. I'm going to move this to the left and down. See? Okay, and it locked. So now it's like a straight knee. All right. So now the upper loop is going to move. So I'm going to thread the upper looper. All right, let me finish my threading, and then I'm going to show you what I did. Okay, Vince Akiri back. It took me a little while to figure out. I never did this particular stitch, so I tell you, it's a complicated piece of machinery. But if you understand, if somebody goes through it with you, it might make it a little bit more understandable. And the drawings themselves, whoever did the artwork, obviously was just reading off some kind of a menu. They actually probably didn't have the machine in front of them unless they were just given a drawing or something. I'm really not sure. Anyway, all right, here's what I did. This right now is set up for 5 threads. In a nutshell, these two, these two here go through the 2 needles. The one on the left is the yellow, and the first needle they say to thread is the back one, which is A, which is needle A. Which is this needle here, needle A. So I threaded that first, and I brought it through the little fingers over here. I brought it through one of these fingers that's more in line with the needle. The same thing, there's a little bar here, and actually, oh, my camera's dropping. And actually, you see where this bar is only one piece of metal? The bar below it is sort of bent, doubled metal. So when you're putting the thread in, you sort of angle the thread in like this, and then slide it in, and then bring it like this to align it with the hole. And then I put them behind this bar. This one I didn't do. All right, that's just a floating bar. And then the threads went down under the presser foot. Everything now is going towards the back. Now, that was the easy part, but that's the last thing you do. Now, they have you thread the upper loop first. They give you the color, the green, and the green happens to be this spool. That's the green, and I followed the little dots that they have. You start coming down this way. I go in. All right. Then it goes in this loop. Goes across to this loop. Then it comes up. Comes up like this, and there's a little wire, a little twisted wire up there, and you loop the thread on the outside of this little point and bring it around, so basically it's dropping through. The end result is like that. That's the end result, as you see. Okay, now there is a hole here where the thread goes through. Now the instructions, they tell you that this little deal here, when there's thread, this is a white knob. This goes up and down. See? The purpose of it down is to cover the hole. But for this case, they want it up. Alright, so that's one of the steps. So now, in order to get the thread on the back, I'm going to move the... Alright, you see these, this here, and there's one here, little points with holes on the end. Everything's dropping. Got a hole here, a hole here. Okay. In the back of this sort of a hooked shape arm, in the back of it, there is a notch. You know, just say like, you know, something like the back of this scissor. There is a notch that the thread goes into that notch. Now, you can't reach it because it's back. It's back in here. But what they have, now I had a machine. I had a serger before this. It was a Janome. Let's see if I could show you these things I'm talking about. Okay. You see, I'm going to put it in the center of the screen. All right. You see the thing I'm moving? You see the V-notch? V-notch. Right there? Okay. The thread has to go with your left hand. You put the thread behind the V-notch. And you're holding the thread in the left hand, and the right hand's holding this little thing up like this, and the left hand's holding the thread in that V-notch, and then you pull this all the way back. So I can't do it now. I had to move this out of the way, this little thing. You move this all the way back, and it's pulling the thread with it, and as you're holding it in your hand, and what it does is it lays the thread back on the back of that hook. And then when you let go of this little lever, the thread stays, believe it or not, stays on the back of this hook. Gets into that little notch. And then you pull it to the right, and it actually stays in that notch. And then you put it from front to back through the hole. And you could see the blue one here going front to back through the hole, and then I pulled it out the back of the machine. See, I'm gonna pull some of it now. You're gonna see, you see everything's moving, everything's pulling through, and all right, and then you do the lower loop the same way. You follow the colors going through. Yeah, you'll see a lower loop of red, and usually what I did was I put the red one through this hole here. And again, like I said, this is this piece of metal, so you angle the thread like this, slide it in, and then you pull it through the hole. The other one, the brown, the thread goes through that. That is for the chain stitch looper. And both of those loopers, the chain stitch and the lower looper, you have to use that little V-notch installer that I was showing you before. The upper looper does not require that method. So I just showed you in there the little V-notch, and there's one here too. See that little V-notch? I'll put it right in the center. It's moving. And then the other one, I put it in the center of the screen. That V-notch. The thread goes in there, and then you pull it all the way back as far as it can go. And hopefully, if you have tension on with your left hand on that thread, it places it behind that sort of that hook thing with the eye in it. All right. Now, the next step, I got to see if it works, because it tells you in the book when you get all of that done. When you get all of that done, it shows you this. It shows you this here. See, and it says, "Try it. Place 2 pieces of home decorative fabric, right side together. Align the fabric so that the knife just slightly trims the fabric edge." All right, I'm gonna give it a shot. 2 pieces. And what do they say? Good side together? Right sides together. Okay, right side together. We know what that means. Okay. You're gonna be the first. Gonna be the first to see Vince screw up here. I'm gonna close this. I don't know. It'd be too good to be true if it works. There's a lot of gizmos there. Not a little deals. Put this, put that. Alright. Let me see, what could I use for fabric? Two right sides together. Alright, I'm gonna get some fabric. I think I'll just get a... Somebody shut this off a minute. I'll be amazed if this works. I'm just gonna put two pieces together here first, just a couple of inches. Now what do? You put it right under the presser foot. Oh, I see a knife right here. All right, look. Yeah, okay, let me bring down this pressure foot here. Pull this through. Okay, that's actually the end. It has a cut in it. Okay, as they say, chained off. What happened to my scissors? I dropped it and lost it already. Chained off. Alright, let me get up. Put the camera on it. Let's see what I got. Oh boy. Bang, bing. Get my light. And here's as far as I went. See, I had a slit. That's why I didn't go any further. Right, that's the other side. It's called a five thread safety stitch. Yeah, cut it, did it, look, did it. Alright, so just like in the book, it had, just say the gold, everything, the gold was in the front, and then I used the blue, and one was the chain stitch looper, and this was the lower looper, and then the top stitch, one top stitch, and the other the edge stitch. The edge stitch is the back needle, will be needle B, the back one, edge stitch. This would be the cover stitch needle, and this is the wide 5-thread safety stitch. Okay, that's Vince Curie, and not first, but I'll show you where I buy my machines. Now, I'm just doing this because I like the people. I don't make no money on this. I'm not asking for anything. Mr. Vac and Mrs. So, they have a website. 3249 Sunrise Highway, Wantagh, New York, 11793. Phone number 516-781-7600. You could ask for Lisa, and you tell them Vince Arcuri recommended them and this particular machine. And I checked last night on their website. They're selling these for $549.99 with free shipping. I paid more than that when I bought it, but that's what they're selling for now. Free shipping. If you're not in New York State, they won't charge you New York tax. So that's the end of the demonstration. Vince Arcuri, thank you for watching, and you could look at some of my other videos that I made on using the Genome Memory Craft 6500. This is a beautiful machine. It does font. It does all this various embroidery, the decorative stitches. I just got some of them there that I did right there. I actually, without changing the thread, changing the needle, I just pressed buttons and I got different configuration there, as you can see. So sort of a vine, and then it goes into a snowflake up here. Goes into a snowflake, and then it goes into a spiral up there. Then it goes into a chain. See? Very nice. This is the Genome Memory Craft. What they call it, MC 6500P. The P is for professional. And this other one here is also a professional. Now the designation on this is a 14T 968 DC. That's the designation on that. It comes with enough to get you going. Needles, threads, little tools, and so forth. Extra feet over there. Where are my feet? There's extra feet. You know, just like this one comes with a box of feet. And it comes with a table for doing quilts. Nice big table. It goes right onto it. And tomorrow I'm picking up my new embroidery machine. Also, Mr. Vac and Mrs. So. And who runs the business, family-run business, is Joe and Lisa. And their adult children work there also. I highly recommend them. And here's one of the projects I did with my brother embroidery machine. That's one of the projects the machine's capable of doing with the proper software. That's an embroidery, machine embroidery. And I've also done some of these little patches here. And here's some of my vintage stuff. 1923, Red Eye, model 66. The one behind it is a model 66, 1940. And there is the Model 401, one of the best zigzags that Singer made, and that came out in 1957, but it made in Alberton, South Carolina, in the big plant they had there. That's a 401A. The A is for Alberton, and that's a zigzag with straight zigzag dual needle. Very highly recommend that machine too, if you could find them in good shape. Here's my my film, where I digitize my film, and some of my professional cameras over there. I like Sony's. All right, folks, that's the end of the show. Vince Curie. See you next time.